Hey guys, welcome back. So today I got a very special episode for you because today we're going to be checking out the Regal Robot Holochess pieces. And kind of just like an infomercial, you're actually going to get two for the price of one, meaning you're going to get two different reviews in one video today because we're going to be looking at the signature set, which is 10 figures, but we're also going to be looking at the Bodyslam set, which is an additional 2 figures. So essentially we're going to be looking at 12 different figures. And guys, these things are crazy cool, right? So I'm sure you guys know a little bit about them, you know, if you haven't heard. But these pieces were actually scanned from the original props. And Regal Robot teamed up with Jon Berg, Phil Tippett, and Dennis Muren to get these pieces, I mean, as close as you possibly can to the original screen used pieces. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that once we look at them. So let's take a look at them. Now, before we get started, let's get some context here from the game in the movie. Now, this is from Solo, and as you can see here, you know, they're playing the game, and if you count the figures, there's 10 of them. But, did you see that? Chewie gets mad, and 2 of them get deleted. You see that? So, 10 goes down to 8. Now, in A New Hope, you see them play that game again. And now you could actually see that there's only 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then Mr. Big over on the right. Now this is the famous, you know, scene between R2-D2 and Chewbacca. And Chewie gets all mad, right, after this move. And, you know, we get the famous line, right, which is,
I suggest a new strategy, R2. Let the Wookiee win.
Now, in The Force Awakens, Finn turns this on and actually sees the end of the game. And as you could see, R2-D2 in fact did let him win. But these are them, guys. These are exact replicas of that chess set made by Regal Robot. Now, this is the signature edition, which has 3 signatures. It has Jon Berg, Phil Tippett, and Dennis Muren, who were the original makers, sculptors of these figures for the movies. And look how beautiful they are. I mean, these things are awesome. Now, Regal Robot released these in 2 different ways. You could buy them as a set, which is the signature set, and only 77 were made, or like these, where you could buy them kind of separately in sets of 2, but you wouldn't be able to buy the ones that Chewie deleted. So it was kind of the incentive to get the full set, you know, the signature set. Now, I think the most popular figure out of all of these is probably this guy, who's referred to as Mr. Big, but his real name, and I'm going to butcher it, is Mentelian Savrip. I think I said it right. This thing is awesome. Regal Robot did an amazing job at really replicating the clothes kind of the same way Phil Tippett and team did it. It was all leather, even the belt, right? Look at that. It's a hand stitch. Look at the little X stitches. And the belt actually has little studs, like little metallic studs. Now, the other cool thing is the hair. The hair is actually glued on there, and it's real hair that's on there, essentially the same exact way as Phil Tippett and team did it for the originals. And what's even more interesting is that this thing even has armpit hair, which you'll be able to see a little bit better once we get to the Bodyslam set. As you can see here, they're kind of painted kind of rough, just like the original ones. Oh, there you go. You could see the armpit hair. So again, typical Regal Robot, right? The attention to detail is always going to be there. And as you can see there, it has armpit hair. Now, the other most famous little figure here is Kintan. I think that's how you say it, Kintan, which is the little guy with the hammer, right? And Regal Robot even replicated the hammer. And look at that. It actually looks like real stone, right? So even this little small piece, this little weapon, you know, No detail was spared here. And this thing is just awesome. Obviously, the texture, everything was pulled directly from that original scan. So, I mean, all those little bumps, everything you see there are actually on the real figure. As you can see there, it has the Lucasfilm logo on there showing you that, these are licensed replicas. Now, this next guy's name is Molitor. And actually, he ended up being one of my favorite little creatures from this set. He's just so cool looking, and just the attention to detail. You can imagine, I mean, again, Phil Tippett and his team, the attention to detail on, I mean, these are small figures. They're not that small, right? I mean, this one's actually pretty big compared to the other ones, but the attention to detail that they put in this thing is amazing. I mean, look at that. I mean, all the little crevices, look at the snout, look at those little fine details that you would never be able to see in the film, right? And every time I look at this, I see some new detail that just pops out at me, and it's just such a cool thing. Now, this guy's name is Holochess, I think. It's kind of cool because it looks like a little terror dog, right? It looks like one of the Ghostbusters terror dogs. But this thing is also really cool. I love the fact that they really did a great job at painting the mouth to make it look almost realistic, right? And again, these are such small pieces in the movie that really all this detail is going to get lost, right? And especially because they're kind of holographic, you lose all that detail. Now, this guy, his name is Color Slug, or it's a Color Slug. Again, look at this detail. I mean, it's insane. Just the fact that the sculptors just thought of every little bump, every little detail that, I mean, they had to have known that wasn't really going to show up on the screen, but yet there it is. And again, Regal Robot did an amazing job at casting these and to capture all of the little details. I mean, even look at the little black little fingernails on there is just amazing. As you could see there, you could actually even see kind of a two-tone in the paint. Now, this guy's kind of cool. He kind of looks like one of those Demogorgons from Stranger Things, right? With the open face. I guess this guy's name is Knock, I want to say. I guess that's how you say it. But I really love the fact that his hands are essentially little mouths, right? Again, the attention to detail, right there, look at that armpit hole, right? It's something that you would never ever see on screen. But again, it just goes to show, how dedicated Phil Tippett and his team were to creating, these amazing pieces. Now, this little guy right here, I'm not even going to pretend to know how to say his name. It's Gook. It's Ghhhk. But look at how cool he is. I mean, it's literally a creature right out of Star Wars, right? It's the quintessential kind of Star Wars creature. Again, the detail's amazing on this. Regal Robot did an amazing job at painting this to really make those details pop, right? This is one of those figures that you kind of you could see it in the film a little bit better. Now, this guy's name is Monarch. Kind of cool. What's actually really, again, as I look at these, more details pop out at me. And one of the details that I kind of just noticed, it has a tongue, right? Look at that tongue. Never would have noticed that. When I first looked at it, I was like, oh, this is such a little simple creature. It's really simple. The paint job is pretty simple. And then all of a sudden I look in his mouth and there's his tongue. Now, the cool thing about this guy is that his little staff, his little weapon actually comes off. So you could, take it off or, just display it differently if you wanted to. Now, this one's one of the 2 lost pieces. As you saw in Solo, this is one of the ones that Chewie made disappear. This guy's name is Bulbous, and it's just such a cool piece. It's the smallest out of all of the set, but as you could see compared to my hand, they're actually not that small. So obviously you could use my hand for reference. The smallest piece is about the size of my hand. Now, this guy's name is Scrimp. And it's another one of those lost pieces that didn't show up in A New Hope, but they were made in the original sculptures in 1977. So they did exist. They just never used them on the set. But the Solo movie obviously clarified that. Now, finally, we get the Bodyslam set. And like I said, Regal Robot released all of these figures in sets of 2 that you could purchase separately, obviously minus the 2 lost pieces. So the Bodyslam set, has obviously a different pose. It's the famous scene where, he body slams this little guy. It's really cool. There's the armpit hair. Like I said, you could definitely see it a lot better on the Bodyslam set. And it's just such a cool pose. It's such an iconic pose, right? Most people kind of remember the chess set with that famous little scene. And again, they did an amazing job over at Regal Robot, just capturing all of the details. Both the 10-pack and the Bodyslam set are essentially painted the same. They have the same details. They're just in different poses. As you can see, it has a key there where it kind of locks into place. And let me try that again. There you go. It locks into place. Oh my gosh. One-handed. And it's pretty sturdy right after that, so you don't have to worry about falling off. The base does have a little hole in the bottom where you screw the foot in to make sure that obviously it doesn't tip over. So speaking of bases, these all come with museum style bases, and it comes with a little kind of graph there where you could look and see which one belongs to what. So obviously the green one there belongs to Scrimp. And the Bodyslam set and the dual sets actually come with the acrylic case or a acrylic base as well. But it's really cool, and I'm so glad that Regal Robot provided this little guide there because, or else you'd have to really be kind of playing around with each piece to see which one fits on what base. But it definitely gives it an added museum look. So you could display them without the base. Obviously, they stand up perfectly fine without the black bases. And obviously, to save space, you'd want to display them without the bases. And look how cool they look without them. But if you have a little bit more space where you want to display them with the bases, you could actually prop them up just like this. But the bases do take up some room, but they do give it this added museum touch, right? That Regal Robot is really known for. And it just literally makes these little guys a little piece of art, right? A little piece of history. So if you got one of the 77 of the signature sets, congratulations to you. Congratulations to us. We literally own a small piece of Star Wars history. So guys, thanks again for watching. Hope you like this video. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, you share it. And also don't forget to follow me and my buddy Michael on Collection Wars, where we go live every Saturday night on YouTube and talk to some amazing collectors and show some amazing collections. So I will see you there and see you next time.